All you do is say something controversial. I'm gay. And then be like this.
That's okay, man. Are you a he, she, or just gay?
Yeah, like this. Kids breaking news to our TMZ.
Well, who are you gay with?
That's a secret.
Good, Aaron?
What are you waiting on?
Here's some freak honey shit. What do you want me to do?
Quit playing.
That's it. You're going to jail. No. Stop it. You're going to jail.
Come on, do your job, man.
Anybody hurt, man? Dude, get up.
Finish this, man.
Make me no
LOL, white America, assassinate my character. Money matrimony, yeah, they tryna break the marriage up. Who gon' act phony or who gon' try to embarrass you? I'ma need a day off, I think I call Ferris up.
Bueller had a Mueller, but I switched it for a Miele, cause I'm richer. And prior to this shit was moving freeway.
Okay. We got a real special guest in the building. This is your Daily Dose, episode 29. We got Gary Owen.
Yup.
Gary, thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome to the Man Cave. Welcome to the pod. This is the Daily Dose and Tell Your Truth. Gary is working tonight, and he's a father. He's not going to be taking a shot with us right now.
Yeah, no.
You never know. We may sneak one in. This is what we do, Gary. I was telling you, I got drunk with Dre on the last episode. This company, trying to get a sponsor. We don't got any sponsors. So, if you know anybody, you got any plugs?
Yeah.
We take any type of tequila sponsors. Anyway, this was Matthew McConaughey's brand. This thing popped off. Caught it on camera. They sent us a care package, but no sponsor yet.
That's a big shot, too.
Oh, this is nothing, man. I'm his trainer.
I don't know how you do it and get up at 3:30 in the morning.
We do a W segment, Jake Paul. Controversy, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
We're real sponsors, Congo Sups. And this is my guy, Dwight Manfredi. Thanks for hopping on.
Thank
Cheers.
you. Smooth.
Yeah, smooth. We're going to start with a dub right there, because you know why? Quick story about Gary. We are from Sheridan, Wyoming. Okay? We're from Sheridan, Wyoming. We were the only brown people, other than our cousins who we didn't get along with. I got a story for that one too.
Okay.
And growing up, and I'd mentioned Taj was the one that helped me with like dressing right, listening to good music, educating me, and he is the one that discovered you when he was watching Held Up.
My first movie.
That was your first movie?
Yep.
Damn, that was your first movie, Taj. That's pretty cool. And you were, what was your role in that movie?
I was a cop.
It was a cop.
Clute.
And that's the cop.
Redneck cop. Yep.
So
24 years old.
that's crazy. So before we get into Gary, I have to bring this up because we're kids from Wyoming. Because the last one when I had with LeBron, when I got to meet him, it was the saying was just a kid from Wyoming. So here I am, just a kid from Wyoming. Taj was watching your movies, and you were in Think Like a Man, Little Man too, right?
Little Man.
And then which other one?
Ride Along.
Ride Along, Wayans Brothers.
Yep.
Those are some of the ones that we connected with. We'll get into the whole thing. But anyways, crazy is that Gary Owen is in the building, in the Man Cave, and we're happy to have you on. So Gary, it's pretty cool being from Wyoming. Now we're in Houston, Texas. We'll get to how we met and things. But first and foremost, I would like to know just basically your story, how you came to where you are, how you got into comedy, the come up, the grind, and then we can get into some other things.
Comedy's, I don't know. I always knew I wanted to do it. I didn't know how to do it going up to small town Ohio, but I was like, and I'm not lying. I remember my junior year of high school, I was sitting in the back, I think it was Spanish class, and I just went, God, these people really don't know who's in their class right now. I was like, I'm going to be famous. And then, I don't know how you did stand up, but in the back of my brain, I was like, I remember telling my guidance counselor, what are you going to do? I said, I'm being a stand-up comedian. And like, every teacher, you know, that's why I didn't go to college. I joined the Navy out of high school because I figured if I can just get to California, I can start doing stand-up. I was like, how can I get to California? The Navy has the most bases in California. So I took a detour. I spent 2 years in the Presidential Honor Guard. So I was doing parades and funerals for the Navy because when I was in boot camp, they said everyone over 6 foot with a 34-inch waist or less come down to the field house. You know, I'm 17 years old. I was right in the pocket. I'm 6'2", weighing about 160. And I was like, all right. So I went down there. I didn't know this. I didn't know they do a background check. So you sign up, say you want to do it, and at that point, since you're going to be on the White House lawn a lot, they went back and talked to my principal, the mayor, the police. They looking for anything because you're literally this close to the president sometimes. You can't say nothing, but you got the little rifle, and they're walking right by you. You can't look, but you're right there. Like I got this close to Bill Clinton. You know what I mean? Numerous times. And so 2 years in D.C., and when I got to D.C., I used to go to comedy clubs, and I couldn't get in because I was too young, but I used to sit outside and just listen. And I'd be like, oh, I can do this. I can do this. I thought you had to start in L.A.
Okay.
I didn't know you could start in whatever town you live in.
With the comedian stuff, was there somebody that inspired you, or is it just something that you wanted to do? It just
anytime I saw stand-up on TV, I get butterflies. Like a lot of times people play sports. They're probably watching sports and be like, I'd love to be a pro athlete. Yeah. I knew that wasn't in the cards for me, So I was like, if I could, it might be from the channels. If I saw somebody on stage, I would just stop. Or if I drove by a comedy club, I'd stop and just look at it. So first chance I got stationed in California, I took it. Get out there, my first day in San Diego. I thought the whole state was LA because I'm thinking David Lee Roth, California Girls. So I didn't know there was like a Eureka, a Fresno, a Bakersfield. So I get in the phone book and I called this place called the Comic Castle. And I said, hey, you guys got open mic? And he was like, let me check. I was like, let me check. And then he came back. He goes, I can't find him. I said, what are you talking about? He goes, what are you talking about? I said, I'm a stand-up comedian. He goes, bro, this is a comic book store. He was looking for a superhero named Open Mike. I was like, no, bro, I'm a stand-up. So this guy gives me the phone number to the comedy store in La Jolla, and I called a couple times, but I finally got up on open mic night. Didn't do that great, never goes that well, but the bug hit me, and I just kept doing it. And then that's how I got started. And then I was in the Navy, and if I want to do the mainstream rooms, the white rooms, I might be able to get up once a week. But a couple of black guys I was in the Navy was like, yo, you can go here, you can go here, you can go here. And a lot of white comics didn't want to go to the hood. So I was like, I just want to get on stage. So I started doing all the black rooms in San Diego. And then I started to get a little buzz in the city about me. Like, yo, there's this white dude that's kind of funny. So anytime like a rap concert would come, like all the local promoters would try to throw me on a show. And I just remember opening up for like Juvenile. What? You know what I mean?
That's
like
crazy.
that. Not open up. I would just do 5 minutes or something. And so, that's how I got on BET. Because I won the funniest black comedian San Diego contest.
How does that work?
I just showed up and signed up.
So that's another thing I'm curious about. Do you ever, because you said that's how you signed with BET, right? Do you ever like get, how do I say it? Do you ever get flack on like your jokes, being a white guy talking about the black stuff, or do you get nervous, or even at that early stage of your career, were you ever like,
the first time I told,
I don't know if it's gonna happen.
There is true. The first time I ever told a racial joke, I went like this. Yeah, so anyways, look, I'm not like that. Like, I got a lot of black friends. Like, I even asked a black guy, could I tell his jokes? So, no, I like black people, and black people are cool with me, and I'm cool with them. I totally butchered the joke because I was trying to, like, tell everybody, I'm okay with black people. And I go, what am I doing up here? It was so wordy and choppy. The crowd was like, what is he talking about right now? No, seriously. Like, a lot of black friends. Like, this is okay, what I'm about to tell you. Don't take it the wrong way, but I'm about to tell a black joke. So that time, yeah. But then I've always had a good ability, and not just on stage, but off, to know exactly how far to push the envelope without going too far. Because even like in the gym culture, like once you get cool with people, it's like you guys become therapists and you're jonesing on each other. And especially with black guys in the gym, I know how far to go without going too far. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just you just got to read the room.
That's good, because I was always wondering, because again, we grew up in Wyoming, and that's how we signed with BET, and here we are as kids watching BET movies, and it was those type of jokes, and I was always curious, now that I'm cool with you and understanding with you, if you've ever had that pressure, or even like in today's cancel well, we're hoping to get past the cancel culture.
I think we're headed that way.
Yeah,
now.
we're headed that way. If you ever got really pressured, like if there's one specific moment.
Nah.
That's awesome.
There's never been a moment where it was like, you obviously got people who are going to complain, but they're just complaining to complain because they might. It's no different than telling like a gay joke, a special needs joke, and then somebody has like a gay cousin or a special needs cousin, and you're like, dude, I'm not talking about that person.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about in general. You know what I mean? So people a lot of times cancel culture is funny because they'll come in with some kind of expectation. And if you don't meet it, or people for some reason nowadays are looking to be offended.
Yeah.
They're not looking just to laugh or pull back and be like, okay, there was no malicious intent there. That was just a joke, right? It almost reminds me like my brother passed away of a heroin overdose, right? The week after he passed away, I'm watching SNL, and they did this whole commercial about heroin. They was like, how it was funny. It was like how people act on heroin. Uh-huh. And I got so many DMs and people messaging me like, are you pissed? Are you going to say something about SNL? I go, no. I go, they don't know my brother. They didn't post that saying, oh, Gary Owen's brother died. Let's do this sketch right now. I go, and a lot of shit was true. Yeah. Like my brother would have laughed at it. That's how he acted. That's it. That's the shit people on heroin do. I'm looking at it, I was kind of laughing. Uh-huh. And I'm sure my brother, wherever he was at, was probably like, damn, they nailed that one. You know? So I didn't take offense to it. But I can see how some people would look at it and be like, "As my brother died, SNL, you know, fuck you." I was like, nah, I was laughing at it because I know he would have laughed at it.
Yeah,
you
know? That's why I love what was Chappelle came out with, like, was it a year ago on Netflix? And he was fucking zero filter. And he was here on Netflix. And I'm like, this is great, man. Comedy is becoming comedy again. And then I think there was a little run when they had that Tom Brady roast with Kevin Hart.
That was the best.
And I was like, okay, we're finally, nobody's giving a fuck anymore. And comedians are going to be comedians again. And I was just happy that was going on.
Chappelle said it best. And I think it was when he got the Kennedy honors. He goes, instead of being mad at a joke you don't like or a topic you don't like, he goes, find the comedian you do find funny and just support him.
Yeah.
Spread the word to your friends about this guy. He goes, because everybody got a comedian that they can gravitate to.
Yeah.
Whether you're pro-Trump, you're anti-Trump, you know, you're an atheist, you're Christian, whatever it is, there's a comedian out there for you. Just find them. But don't be mad at this guy because you don't agree with what he said. That's the only thing I don't like. The biggest thing about cancel culture I don't like is like you can have an amazing career, doing stand-up for 20 years, and you tell one joke that nobody has ever come to see you live. They've never supported your career, and they want to end your career instead of just saying, I didn't like that joke.
Yeah.
Because I'll respond to my fans a lot of times on social media. If you pay to see me and you message me and say, I didn't particularly like that, I'll have a dialogue with you because I want you to come back and I want you to be happy. But if you haven't seen me and you're going off like a YouTube short and now you're the worst comedian on the planet, you were never going to come see me anyways.
Yeah. It's cool too. Again, it's cool for me, Gary, to have you in here because of our upbringing. I mentioned Dave Chappelle. When I said that and you were talking, the first thing I remember of Dave Chappelle as a kid was when he was he was a blind KKK member.
Yeah, that was the first Chappelle episode.
Okay, that's what it is?
Yeah,
Cool.
the first Dave Chappelle episode.
And I was laughing my ass off.
Yeah.
I had no idea what was going on. And he's all talking about yelling white power and all this shit. And he takes off and it's fucking him. And I'm like, dude, this is the most funniest shit I've ever seen in my life.
And the best is the end when he goes, he's blind and he married a white woman and then she divorced him because she found out she was a Negro lover.
Yeah. So
that sketch, and that sketch, I think, is what took Dave Chappelle from cool to boom through the stars. Because I remember Dave in the beginning, like when I first got to LA, he was more like the mainstream black guy.
Okay.
He wasn't doing a lot of the black rooms. And then I remember he had the Blackzilla comedy tour where he was doing like 1,500, 2,000 seaters. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Dave's got a little, because you go from the comedy clubs to theaters. And then Chappelle came out and he was gone through the roof at that point.
It's crazy. What was it? So you said you signed with BET. What happened with BET then? What was the takeoff point for you? Was it something you were expecting? Was it more? Was it hard to get to where you're at? What happened after you signed with BET?
Well, when I got on BET, Comic View used to be a contest, and they filmed the whole season in a week. So they would do like I think 5 episodes a day, Monday through Friday. So they would get 25 episodes in. So when people was watching Comic View, they're watching it for half the year, but we filmed it all in 1 week. And it was a contest. I just kept winning my rounds, and I came out of nowhere. I was like, who's this young white dude? And I just kept winning, and then I got an hour special, and then they said, you want to be the host? I was like, all right. So, I mean, within like 2 years doing stand-up, I was on TV. I got my first movie with Jamie, and I thought, oh, this entertainment shit's easy. And it was 3 years before I got another chance to be in a movie or on TV.
After the Jamie Foxx movie?
Yeah.
Really?
It was 3 years between that one and Daddy Daycare. I didn't get another role. I was like, oh, I thought. So Jamie sees me. He sees me on stage, invites me to his house, and I'm going to keep a lot of stuff that happened that summer between me, Jamie, and God, because it was probably the greatest summer of my life, because I'm early 20s. I'm early 20s, and all of a sudden, I can say I had about 4 months where I lived what every guy dreams of when you go to LA and you're in the mix. Like, I'm hanging out with, like, Blade, Wesley Snipes, or I'm in the room with, like, Denzel and Bernie Mac and Chris Rock. I'm just like, I'm in the mix.
And this is still when you're kind of, no one knows who you are.
At all.
So you're like...
Jamie did, though.
You're like me when I was with LeBron.
Yeah.
Just sitting there like, oh, well, shit, that's
yeah.
nice.
But
Okay.
but keep in mind, athletes, like I'm there with Shaq and Kobe, and I had a July 4th party. Kobe came to it.
Hey.
You know what I mean? He was 18 years old. He had a little guy with him, and I'll never forget. I was house sitting in Bel Air. This guy who's he's my dog, but he got life in prison. He was a big drug dealer in LA. I didn't know.
That's the opposite of a dub there. We don't want to go life in prison, especially with Gary Owen becoming who he is today.
That's still my guy. I still go visit him. That's still my dude. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know. So he has this big July 4th party. This is July 4th of 1998. And I have my Navy buddy comes up. I said, yo, I'm house sitting for this dude. He's got this big July 4th party. But everybody thinks it's my house, right? Because I had pictures of me all over. Because I didn't know he was in the drug game. So he didn't want nobody to know where he lived. But he wanted to throw this big July 4th party because he was making money. They charged people to get into the party and stuff. And then all of a sudden, my boy comes in and goes, hey, man, Kobe's here. Kobe Bryant's here. I go, oh, okay. They go, come out. So everybody thought it was my party. It was not my party. I was just the face. And they did that because it was all these black people. The cops come. I'm the one that's got to talk to the cops. And that's exactly what happened, by the way. So Kobe just sitting there in the driveway, and I walk out. And this is young Kobe, right? This is after his rookie year. And then dapped him up, and then he had his dude with him. I'm sure it was his handler. And my fucking buddy in the Navy was just ruining the moment. Because he goes, Kobe Bryant. It's Kobe Bryant right there. Kobe Bryant. He's just standing in earshot. And you can tell Kobe's sitting there shaking my hand going, like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? And he just wouldn't leave. Like, he had this, like, whatever drink. Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant right there. That's Kobe. Kobe Bryant. Jelly Bean Bryant's son. I was like this. Scott, what are you doing, bro? So that summer of 1998, man. I'll just keep that between me and whoever. But
just 98 in general was a great year. That's
man,
good times.
Yeah, so that was my, like, indoctrination into, like, LA, and then, but I thought when I got the movie with Fox, I thought we shot it in Canada, so we shoot the movie up there for like 6-7 weeks. I come back, and I'm thinking everybody about to be calling. I'm thinking Hollywood's about to be, no. I get back, they got a car service, takes me back to my little apartment, and I'm sitting there going, oh, now I gotta hustle. It's weird when you do a movie because your last day of filming, everybody claps. They go, hey, and as soon as you do your last line, your last scene, and the director will be like, and that's a wrap on Gary Owen, and everybody claps. Looking back on it, it's such a weird thing because you're unemployed. Because they're literally clapping, and you're like, all right, man, I don't have another gig after this.
Yeah.
So when I get back to LA, I'm like, oh, the phone ain't ringing. And I didn't have representation. Jamie's the one that got me the audition for Held Up. It wasn't like an agency got it.
And how was your relationship with Jamie? Was there like synergy there for him to help you, or?
Yeah, he saw me on stage, and he was like, yo. And then his boy came and was like, Jamie wants to meet you. So I'd always be going over his house and just hanging out. And I had no expectations. I just thought I was cool. I'm hanging out with Jamie Foxx. And then I left here. He goes, hey, man, I got this movie. I'm gonna bring you in for an audition. And all he said was, hey, don't embarrass me. I'm going to bat for you. I was like, all right. Man, I knew my line. I knew your line. I knew I was not going to mess this up. So the 4 pages I got, I had every line memorized. And so I was so ready for that audition.
Yeah.
And then it took like a month later, and I remember Jamie goes, hey man, you going to be home tomorrow? Yeah, he goes, yeah, you might want to be close to your phone. He goes, I ain't supposed to say nothing. I don't want to let the cat out the bag. He goes, but just be close to your phone. So I kind of knew. That was like the best phone call, because they just call you like, hey, this is so-and-so from Held Up. Yeah, so we want to hire you. That was it. It's not like, hey, you got the part. We want to hire you like a job.
So what was that like for you? Was it a big paycheck? What is it?
No.
Because this is a little bit of entrepreneurship too, because it sounds like being a comedian, you really don't make money yet.
In the beginning, no.
So when you got that, where you're like, okay, I'm on the, you were on the rise because you were Jamie Foxx. Well, how was that first check? Was it what you were expecting? Was it?
It was more money than I ever made, but it wasn't something you could live off of forever.
Okay.
There was a comma. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
So it wasn't like 900. There was actually a comma. I go, oh, and you don't get one check. It's like broken up into like 5 checks, and they weren't huge, but it was good for me, But people get this misconception because you're a movie, you're like some multimillionaire.
That's why I asked.
That is not the case. Where I'm at now in my life, I turn down a lot of roles because I take a huge pay cut. I make more doing stand up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like. And this is nothing against, I'm not battling anybody, but like Marlon Wayans had a Netflix movie, I think it was called Six Tuplets or something.
Watch that one.
So they wanted me to be in it, but I had to be in South Carolina for 6 weeks.
You'd have been great in that movie.
And I said, well, can I work on the weekends? And they was like, nah, because we don't know our shooting schedule. And I said, well, what I was getting paid on that, it wasn't worth it. And for the part that I had in that movie, I was like, that's not gonna be that Chappelle KKK moment. I'm just gonna go on the road and politely declined, And then like I did a movie called Dottie and Soul that's out now. I think it's on Showtime. They let me do stand up on the weekends.
Okay.
So it kind of sucked though, because we would still work on Friday, so I would have to charter a private to get me to my next city, because sometimes I'd have to be back Saturday, but they did make sure I got to do my shows. So some shows I was like, oh, this check's pretty much almost gone. Because I wasn't chartering like a Drake jet. It was a real small one.
Yeah.
Like you had to be within 3 hours. But they did let me go do my gigs, so that worked out.
So what happened that period? It was, you said 3 years after the Jamie Foxx movie, and then your next role. What was the next role for you?
Daddy Daycare.
Okay, and then was that your takeoff moment?
Nah.
Damn, still.
There really wasn't a...
We found you funny in all those.
So here's the thing. I'm headlining. I am selling okay amount of tickets, but it wasn't like I was killing it. And it's almost like I was a hamster on a hamster wheel.
Okay.
Every city, I kind of knew exactly how many tickets I was going to sell. I knew how much money I would make. So it wasn't like that. Honestly, from 98... and you're gonna for 2010, it was kind of the same for me. Those 12 years, I was doing okay. I was headlining, had some fame, but nothing crazy. And then I opened up for Mike Epps in Houston at NRG, and I'll never forget. I was backstage, and Epps' manager came up, and he was like, "Yo, Gary, just do like 15 minutes, and then we're gonna go to intermission, and then Mike's gonna come up." I said, "All right." They came back like 5 minutes later. All right, Gary, we're going to go to intermission first and then do like 20 minutes, and then Mike's going to come up. I said, cool. And then he came up again. He goes, all right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to have you host, and then you bring up everybody. And then I was like, all right, cool. And then he goes, every time he came back, I was like, all right, cool. And they was like, his manager goes, dude, you don't give no back talk. I go, the check's the same.
Yeah.
I'm on the show. Mike's the headliner, so it doesn't matter where I'm at in the show. Everybody was coming at that time to see Mike Epps. So whatever you want me to do, I'm here. Just let me know. After the show, Mike's manager goes, yo, Mike's got this he's got this comedy special he's filming called Live from the Nokia. And this was at the time that the Shaq All-Stars just came out. The one that really took Kevin Hart over the top. So it was the same company, Code Black. So I was like, I was trying to get in because we were kind of at a lull with stand-up. There was no Comic View. There was no Def Jam. There was no YouTube where people were doing stand-up yet. So people were like, especially in the urban world, they were kind of searching because they don't go to Comedy Central. Where's the next shit coming from? And then Shaq came out with the one that Cedric and Kevin all that was on. That kind of took Kevin's top. So they was like,
I didn't even know that about Kevin. That was the one.
That was the one.
I was curious on his story too.
That was the one that really. But he, I said, wait a minute, Code Black's doing it? The guy go, all right, if you promise me Jeff Clanagan will be in the audience to watch my set, because he was one that was running Code Black. And they go, the lady was like, yeah, we'll make sure he's there. I said, okay. So I was supposed to be in Columbia, South Carolina. I canceled it. This is on a week's notice. So I'm in Houston on Saturday. This is Friday we're filming. Had to cancel Columbia, South Carolina. I'll never forget, they paid me $2,500. No flight, no hotel, no back end on it. So I'm damn near breaking even. But I was like, the bigger picture here is if Clanagan sees me, this could lead to something. And it was that set. If you go back and look at it, Mike Epps Live from the Nokia. It was that set that I got off stage and I go, shit's about to change. Because it was 20 minutes. I was last on a all-black urban show, and everyone was talking about sex, and I came up there with that black church joke, the black and white church, and they went nuts. And then right when I walked on stage, Morris Chestnut was in the second row, and I made eye contact with him, and I literally go, Morris, what are you doing here? And then everybody was like, where's he going with this? And I go, hey, you guys ever watch Boys in the Hood and you think Morris is going to live at the end? I said, every time I watch that, I'd be like, motherfucker, look up! The fucking Bloods are coming in a tiny car! And then he's running. And the crowd just lost it because Morris was there. And then And
he wasn't involved in that joke. You just ran on
No, I just saw him.
I
just saw him in the audience, and my set just went, wait a minute, Morris Chestnut.
Nice.
And it just popped in. And it just set the tone for the 20 minutes. So Clanagan saw me. He sent me to Japan first.
Okay.
He was like, I don't know. Let's see if he can handle our crowds. So they sent me over to Japan, to Okinawa, and some other cities. And I did some military bases for him. And came back. They said, nah, he can hold his own. And they put me on a show with some heavy hitters. And I was going last. So then I come back, and they said, all right, we're going to put you on the Shaq tour.
Nice.
So the Shaq tour came, and then they gave me a special called True Story that came out on Showtime, and I got Think Like a Man. All this shit happened within like 6-7 months. So I went from just hamster on hamster wheel to I did Mike Epps Live from the Nokia. And a couple months later, I did I got Think Like a Man, and then I'm filming Think Like a Man. They tell me, hey, we're gonna give you an hour special, and then they say, hey, you're gonna be on the Shaq tour. So between like the summer of 2010 to the summer of 2011, shit, just that year was the year that I didn't take off, but everything started to happen. And then Think Like a Man came out, and my specials came out.
So shout out Shaq, yeah?
Yeah, Shaq's always, and then I got the TV show with Shaq.
Which TV show?
Me and Shaq had a show on True TV called Upload. That was also in 2012.
Great.
Yep.
Great time. So, any odds of us getting Shaq on the podcast?
Good luck. Good luck. You gotta get a bigger room.
I joke with Priscilla because during COVID, I had like Clint Capella and Dre and all these guys in my townhome, and they were using my restroom, and my restroom was so short. And I'm like, we were talking about it last night. I said, man, remember when Clint Capella used the bathroom and he was crouched down? So when you said that, I will get Shaq on this podcast.
I hope you do.
We're gonna somehow do it. It's gonna
Shaq's
happen.
different. Like Shaq will do it. You just gotta go to him.
That's right.
Shaq's more like this. Hey, I'm not about to inconvenience myself. If I'm home and I ain't doing nothing, I'll hop on a podcast with you. Shaq is that dude. I got nothing bad to say about that. He's great.
We love Shaq. We got to make it happen. Don't fake the funk on the nasty dunk. We always talk about the great ones, and I said, I got LeBron over Jordan. What about you?
Nah, I got Jordan over LeBron.
Okay, he's got.
And listen, I'm a LeBron guy. He's my favorite player of all time. I love LeBron. But if I'm just being honest, Jordan broke my heart so many times. And it was, you just knew. Like, the dagger was there. But you're good either way. People act like the LeBron-Jordan comparison. I'm like, look, either way, you good. It's not like you got to shit on one to uplift the other one.
I agree, but I will say this. We haven't talked about this. I will say, looking at old footage now and the level of competition, people are going to think I'm crazy because this is all I talk about. Jordan did not have to face these type of guys that these guys are in the league right now, man. I was seeing a video. I forgot who he was facing. He was facing somebody. I'm going to sound like a young kid. He was facing somebody on the Miami Heat.
You talking about Jordan?
White dude, yeah.
Ronnie Cycli?
Yeah, and he was popping off.
He was like you. He was like Arab looking.
No. So it's the white dude, whoever that guy is.
On the Heat?
Hold on. We got footage because I was talking shit to Sobo about it, and I said, imagine if Michael Jordan had to face Steph Curry. Imagine, and he can't even handle this guy here. This is the clip. Gives Jordan 45.
Rex Chapman.
Yeah,
Rex Chapman, Kentucky. He wasn't no whitey though. He had a little flavor to him.
He wasn't normal.
Yeah.
But this footage doesn't lie. You put Steph Curry out there. I'm sorry,
I
man.
don't know. I like them both. Like, who would I want to hang out with? LeBron. I want to hang out with LeBron all day.
Yeah.
He's just a great guy. And he's my favorite player. But if you're going to ask me Game 7 NBA Finals, who I want Jordan. That dude was fucking ice in his veins, bro.
Okay.
You know? And I hate to say it.
Gary's opinion.
You know?
His opinion. I'm not going to argue with
Yeah.
you. But
And I hope you don't clip this up. I don't want anybody to see this.
send this shit to Mike Mencia. Let this guy know.
Don't throw me under the bus.
Ohio, my ass. He doesn't give a damn about Ohio. He just shitted on Ohio.
No, I don't.
He just said the GOAT wasn't the GOAT, and he's going to claim Ohio? Man, fuck the Bengals.
It could be two GOATs. Remember what Jamar Chase said about him and T. Higgins? It's not wide receiver 1, receiver 2. It's 1 and 1A.
Anyways, I brought that up because I'm taking Shaq with my first round pick. That's why I swung with LeBron and Jordan. First round pick.
Oh yeah,
I'm taking Shaq.
If
in general,
healthy Shaq in his prime, you're not stopping that.
No LeBron, no Jordan, no Kobe. I love you all, but I'm taking Shaq as my prime guy.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
So shout out to Shaq. We got to get him on the podcast. Gary, make it happen, or we'll do it.
Okay, yeah. All right.
So Kevin Hart, that was another one that resonated with us with Think Like a Man. Was Kevin Hart like funny in that Think Like a Man, or was that Kevin Hart's takeoff role? I can't remember. And were you like in awe of Kevin, or what was your
No, I've
relationship?
known Kevin. He used to open for me.
Oh, really?
Kevin, I've known since
Shit.
'98.
All right, well, here we go.
So that same summer, '98, so I get the whole job on BT, I do it with Jamie Foxx. So now I'm headlining. So I'm in New York doing Carolines for the first time, and a buddy of mine out of Philly called me. He goes, "Hey man, I'm coming to New York this weekend. I got this guy named Lil Kev." He goes, "That's who he used to go by." He goes, "He's a funny dude. You think he can get on the show with you?" I said, "Yeah, you can come down and do a guest spot. I don't care." And Kev gets on the phone, and he was just like he is now. He goes, "Hey, what's up, man? Hey, what's up, Gary? This is Kevin, man. Hey, I'm a big fan, man. I don't want to bother you too much. I mean, if I can get on, it's not. I don't want to inconvenience you. It's no big deal." I said, "Bro, come down." So he came down. We hung out that weekend, and you just stay in touch, and we just became friends. And then it was funny, man, because I knew you always knew like Kevin was gonna be working in this business. I didn't know he'd take off like he did, but you always knew he'd be okay. He was good with people. You got to be in the room with them. There's certain people like Chappelle and Kevin, when you're in the room with them, you realize, oh, this is why who they are. It's an energy they give off. Some people have it, and they got it. But I remember I was in Hartford, Connecticut, and I saw Kevin's picture, and he was coming like 2 weeks later to the club. And I go, "Oh, that's dope. Kevin's headlining now." And I'm thinking, when you first start headlining comedy clubs, there's usually paper in the room.
Okay.
And, you're just, I don't know. It's just how it works. It goes from, you get the headline, they paper the room, they just want it packed because they make their money off room and drink, food and drink, and then you start to sell some tickets, and then you start to get door deals, percentage deals, and it's just how it builds up. Oh, that's cool, Kevin. Probably papering it and shit. And I went out that night, and I saw these two girls at some bar, and they go, "Are you here this weekend?" And I was like, "Yeah." They go, "Oh, we didn't even know. We got to get tickets." And I go, "Yeah." And then one girl goes, "I can't. I just bought tickets to Kevin Hart." I go, "Motherfucker, he's here in 2 weeks. What the fuck's I got to do tonight?" So it told me like, oh, this girl had a decision. and she chose to buy Kevin Hart tickets over my tickets, even though he's here 2 weeks later. And this is no animosity. And I go, oh, he started to sell tickets. That's what I was thinking. And then I realized, then I started seeing him all over all the comedy clubs. And then I started seeing like he's having after parties in different cities. And then it was all from that Shaq. That Shaq one came out, and I didn't realize what it did for him. I was like, oh, he's really starting to take off. And then when we got Think Like a Man, I was the first guy that like committed.
Okay.
Will Packer was the producer. He called me. He goes, Gary, I got this movie. It's based on the Steve Harvey book. It's mostly black guys. We need a white guy in there that can hang out with black guys but not act black, but still give them shit a little bit. I said, all right. So I remember when I went up and met with them, and then they said, he goes, I'm trying to get Kevin on. I was like, that'd be cool. So I just remember when Kevin came in, and Kevin was already starting to take off a little bit. We did that first table read, and that's the first time I'm hearing the script come to life. I go, oh, because it was all set up. And Jerry Ferrera said it best. It was all set up for Kev to hit a home run.
Good for him.
We just didn't know how far he's going to hit it. And he hit out the park. And to the whole cast credit, and the guys were with him most of the time, it was very inclusive. Let's set everybody up to succeed here. So there wasn't any, like, trying to sabotage anybody being funny.
Yeah.
Because anything Kevin did, if he was going off the cuff, we just went with it. If I did something that I was ad-libbing, everybody just went with it. Nobody, like, shut it down or tried to overtop it. Because do you remember the scene where Ron Artest showed up in the purple outfit? We were winging that. There was no lines. Kev just looked up, and he was supposed to look up and go, aw, shit. That's pretty much the scene. He just started going off on Prince and all the NBA guys, and we just let it go. Nobody tried to cut him off. Nobody tried to jump in and be like, I'm going to get my shine in this scene. We just let it go, and I thought that was the funniest scene in the movie.
I love
when
it.
I watched it back, I go, oh, he killed. And we felt it. We're like, oh, he's just going. Just let him go. And he's killing it, you know?
That's a testament of greatness because, you know, we love wrestling, obviously. And Hulk Hogan used to talk about it was a dance. So, like, he had to fight Andre the Giant. He'd always go to Andre and be like, what's the plan, Andre? What's the plan? I need to know. And he's like, don't worry. He'd go to Vince. Hey, Vince, how you talk to Andre about the finish? You know, this is going to be his last match. What's going on? He goes, Hulk, if Andre's telling you don't worry. So he goes up to Andre again a day before the fight. So, big guy, what's going on? What do you think's going to happen? Don't worry. So then they get out. They get out on the WrestleMania. They're doing their thing. They're feeding out the crowd. And then he tells Hulk finally. It was a dance. It wasn't choreographed. Yeah. He was feeding off of him. He was feeding off of him. And then he finally tells Hogan, throw me over. And he goes into Hogan. And Hogan lifts him up. Boom. 1, 2, 3. So it was just cool you said that because that was such an iconic role for Kevin in that moment. Mm-hmm. And it was intuition, just like that. Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, intuition. Yeah. And people need to recognize, like, not. Because in comedy, I feel like everybody always thinks it's like this and it's chopped up and it's played out. But, like, that was you guys being you guys or him being him.
In the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I talked to Ely about it too, Michael Ely, and he was like, he said, I'd rather work with actors than comedians. And I said, why? He goes, with actors, they're just going to do their lines, and you know where they're going with it. And when you show up on set, you know exactly where the scene's going to go. He goes, you goddamn comedians. You'll just start going over here, and you're like, where are we going with this? And you got. It's like you're on a high wire with comedians. Yeah. He goes, I love it because we're trusting you to make the scene funny. You're trusting the comedian's instincts. He's like, but man, you show up, you're like, I don't know where this is going. Because that was my favorite thing to do on Think Like a Man was break Ely. Okay. Because for some reason...
You killed Think Like a Man. That was awesome.
For some reason, I was always sitting next to him, like in our bar scenes. And man, some of the outtakes, you could just see Ely going like this. Like the part where I was talking about my son being the violinist. We were just making that up. And I was like, he's doing the Gap Band. I was like, baby, I just made that up. And Ely just went... He put his head on his damn beer one time. The funniest thing about Think Like a Man, though, I ain't gonna lie, I was a little nervous the first time all 6 of us guys sat in the bar. It was hot because you can't turn the AC on because you pick up all the sound. So when they say ready for action, it just goes from like comfortable to like you're hot, you're in makeup. I'm already a little claustrophobic. I'm in a booth with all these guys. I just started leaking, bro. Like I was sweating so bad. And I could tell the guys was looking, and I kept waiting for my line, and everybody, like I said, it's a dance. So everybody's doing their line, they're going, I didn't get my fucking line out, because I know me. Once I start sweating, it doesn't stop, but I just gotta pat it, and it'll stop. But I couldn't pat myself because the scene kept going. I go, this is the longest fucking scene. I just gotta pat my head, man. And it's just coming down, and literally, I leaned up, and it looked like I got shot in my back. It was just back sweat everywhere. And they go, oh! And it's just, and now they got this blue shirt on that I'm just leaking everywhere. And then they go, cut! We had to cut the scene because I was only because I was sweating, and now all the guys are bagging on me, which didn't help. So then to help the scene, they put a jacket on me to cover the sweat. So now I'm fucking hotter. So now I'm like, you gotta be shitting me, man. So we finally got through it. But they never let me live it down. Like, the whole movie, they're like, oh, here we comes Gary. They was call me Sweaty Jackson. Because remember Samuel L. Jackson in The Time to Kill?
Yeah.
It looked like he sweated that whole movie.
Yeah,
so they got
movie.
going, here comes Sweaty Jackson. Just was leaking, man.
What was the role after that? So you had Think Like a Man, and what was the rocket ship? I think you mentioned Get Hard too. What was it?
No, Ride Along was Everything
Ride
Like a Man.
Okay.
Same company. That Will Packer was the exact same people, same director that did Think Like a Man, did Ride Along.
Okay.
And they just called me. I was like, yo, we got this guy, Crazy Cody. He's like pouring honey on him, and he's beating up Kevin in the grocery store.
Did you ever see that scene or that part of the movie?
So I was like, yeah. It's like, I remember I was doing the BET. Was it the BET Awards? Maybe it was the NWC Image Awards. It was the Soul Train Awards. I was presented at the Soul Train Awards, and I was in Vegas, and they called and was like, yo, can you like be in Atlanta next week? I go, yeah. It's like Will Packer called, the same guy that put me in Thing Like a Man, and I remember we did the scene, and the funniest thing about that scene was, so the honey was fake, and so I take off my clothes, and like when I get Kevin down and I'm holding that bottle next to him, we're laying there for about 10 minutes getting the cameras all set up and the lighting, so Kev's just kind of here. So I remember I got my shirt off, he's right here, and usually like we'll talk a little bit, but it's awkward because right here. And I remember I'd whisper, I go, I dreamed of this. He goes, when I started doing stand-up, I said, did you ever think we'd be here right now? Chest. And Kev's like, shut the fuck up, man. Shut the fuck up. I go, shh. Let's start patting his head. It's just funny, man.
My mom was dying laughing during that scene, and she'll never watch like movies like that, but when she sits down and watch it with us, and I remember she just could not stop laughing.
That's what made him a star, though.
Okay.
Think Like a Man was cool, but Ride Along is what told Hollywood he can carry a movie with promoting Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Because Think Like a Man was more ensemble-ish. Mm-hmm. Ride Along was him and Ice Cube.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was the one like, oh, we can like put money behind him and people go see him. So.
And then what happened after that for you? After you Ride Along, couple
Think
other
Like a Man
roles?
2.
Okay.
We did that. And then people don't realize like Think Like a Man was literally four summers in a row we were together because we filmed it in 2011. We promoted it in 2012 and it came out. We filmed the second one in 2013. We promoted it in 2014. So you're doing all the press junkets. So you're with each other. So for literally 4 summers, we were all together. So that's the only movie where everybody's still tight. We still text. We still email. We still support each other. Because movies is like summer camp. They're fun. You think you're going to be friends forever. But once that bus picks you up from summer camp, you all go back to your hometowns. You never see those kids again. It's the same with movies. When you're in it, either you really get along with your castmates and you really like them, and you're like, oh, we're going to be friends forever. Or sometimes you don't like them. You're like, I can't wait till this fucking shit's over. Think Like a Man wasn't like that.
I will say, you can pay me all the money in the world to be an actor, man. That's just a whole different grind, I feel like.
Acting?
Knowing your roles, being on set, script, makeup. Is it hard to you, or you just...
No, I mean, you just got to know your lines. That's the stressful part. Once you're there and you get to the first day, first day is the most nerve-wracking if you have a big scene. But if you don't have a big scene, you just get to that first day and then you're like, all right, now I'm kind of on autopilot. Just go to your room and, You know, even when you got a big scene on set, when you're blocking it with the other actors, it's like, I don't know, it's something just clicks. It's like you said, it's a dance.
Yeah.
So you're doing it, like you're in your hotel and you're like, if you got a big scene next day, you're probably looking at your lines. You're going, okay, let me get this, and this. Then we get on set, they go, all right, let's block it. And that's when you'll be with the other actors. You'll be like, well, I'm going to walk over here. I'm going to do this. I'm over here. And then it just it's weird. It just all comes together.
Yeah.
So when it's time to actually film, because you block a scene and then usually you'll go to hair and makeup and get in wardrobe. And then you'll come back and then you just kind of sit around and wait for it. But it just all organically happens. I've never been on a set where everybody just like fucked up their lines. I've been on some movies where the guy I'm talking to missed the line. I'm going, okay, I don't know where we're going with this, because you literally missed the line that I'm supposed to respond to. So that happens, but I've never been on a line where somebody just like never been on a set where somebody just fucked up the whole scene.
Yeah. So what was it that eventually got you to Houston and you know where you're at now? And I want people to know Gary's pretty into fitness. If you don't follow his stories, or now that we're training you and stuff, did you ever take that role into fitness so serious because of the schedule that was kind of going through your life, or what was it that made you come to Houston? What was it that got you into that fitness routine, and why have you stayed with it? And then obviously the plunges and all that moving forward.
A girl got me to Houston.
Okay.
I could BS. Pussy. That's what brought me to Houston. That's I can live here. When the people asked in the beginning, they was like, "Yo, there's no taxes, cost of living." No, it was her. That's why I moved here. I've always been like, I think Wendy Williams said it best. She always said like, "Gary, you look like you're in shape, but you really like a steak." That was the perfect way to describe my build.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because where I'm at in my life, there's no real like goal. I don't have a goal when I work out. It's just to be healthy, to live. I want to be able to like, you know, because I've had 3 ACL reconstructions and then 2 scopes. So I've had 5 surgeries on this knee. So I know what it's like to be not able to move around.
Yeah.
So just like staying active, and so many people in my business, man, when they let themselves go bad. And I go, I just don't want to be that dude. I just want to be healthy. I don't want to be disgusting when people see me, you know. But that's pretty much why I just work out, just to survive.
Well, I'm curious too, because I feel like Kevin Hart, he's another workout warrior.
Yeah.
And then I think Marlon Wayans, he's gotten into working out. It's like
those guys are different though. The Wayans brothers, shooting Little Man with them, they eat weird. Like they had like avocado pudding. Cause I remember they was all eating like chocolate pudding one day. Keenan, Sean, and Marlon was all, I go, where'd you guys get the pudding? Because I'm sitting here like we were shooting in Vancouver. And we had most sets when you go to lunch, they have the food. It's like a food truck, and everybody just eats. But the Wayans had their own food truck, right? I go, what's that? And they was on some, I don't want to say weird, just different health kick at that point. Because I don't even want to say diet. Like, that was their lifestyle. And they were eating, like, only fish sourced from that region type deal. And then I remember seeing all 3 of them eat pudding. I was like, where do you guys get the pudding? Because I was like, I know they don't eat pudding. And they go, no, it's avocado pudding. I go, shut up. So then they were like, you want some? I go, I do. It was pretty good. It wasn't as good as regular chocolate pudding. It was decent.
I don't know if I could do it.
But they've always been, I always felt like the Wayans has always been ahead of the game nutrition-wise.
Okay.
Like, I remember one time I saw Marlon taking these green pills. I've seen them at some of the Whole Food stores. I go, what's that? He goes, if you're ever going to drink or you feel like you're going to be dehydrated, he goes, take these green things. He goes, and it takes care of it. And I was like, oh. And it did. Like, I started taking them, and I don't drink that much anymore, but every time I was feeling anything, I'd take them. I can't remember what it was. That was like 10 years ago. I always feel like they're ahead of everybody.
They all look good.
They all look good. That's why, yeah.
So I was just wondering, like, all you comedians are turning into fitness, which is what I love, because these guys, the schedule is crazy. So he's you're traveling, what, every weekend, basically?
Yeah.
Every weekend traveling. There's no set schedule. Even now he's got kids and twins, and he's got to make the workout, and I'm surprised he's even here. I got to get this thing rolling because he's got about a show tonight. It's just cool that you guys are into fitness, and it's going to help your longevity, because your schedule is not easy at all.
I always wonder what it would be like if I could just be in one place for like 6 months.
Oh, It'd be
You know?
a whole different.
Because I'm always gone, and then here's my problem with hotel gyms. They're so cold.
Oh yeah.
Like I walk in, I'm like, I'm not about to work out in here. I'm freezing. One time it was funny. I was at, I don't know, Marriott somewhere, and this old lady was in the gym, and it was freaking freezing in there. And so I'm just looking for some camaraderie. I go, is it cold in here? She goes, once you start working out, it won't be. I was like, what, you old hag? Almost like, get to work, and you'll feel the heat. I was like, what? I just walked away. I go, I'm just going to go over and do some push-ups. This is stupid.
Yeah, the hotel gyms are for the birds. We got to design Congo home gyms.
Yeah, for real.
I'm serious. The fitness, that's where like fitness is going right now. And I bring that up too because I feel like, again, I didn't know you were in Houston or anything. It was David Alexander from Miami at DBC. He introduced
That's my dude.
us. Yeah. And what was it? Because I felt like you've been at a handful of places. What was it? Obviously, it was David's recommendation, but why? What made you like love Congo and then obviously kept coming back? And I feel like it's a part of your life and routine now.
Yeah. Oh, I had a couple different trainers when I first got to Houston, and then one just stopped doing it.
Okay.
And I was like, oh. And then I said, I need somebody with flexible hours too, because, I might want to come in at 5 a.m.
Got it.
Or I might want to come in at 5 p.m. So I need somebody I needed a gym, so when first day I went there, I was like, oh, you're trying to show off, but man, I threw up that day one, bro. I was like, oh, this is different. And then the few people I've recommended that have come through, they call me like, dude, what are we training for there? And everybody says the same thing. Like, you guys be like, yeah, do this for 20. I go, you better get a good 18, baby. I don't like the white dude, Cole, because he counts. I'll get done. He goes, no, I was only 9. I go, fuck you, Cole. Nobody's doing 20 for 4 sets. Like, I'll be looking around looking for your brother, be like this. Ain't nobody looking. I'm going to cut this off at 16. Then I'll be like this. You get all 20? I did. Yeah.
Fuck you, Cole. No one likes you, Cole.
Yeah,
God
right.
damn.
Stop counting, bro. I feel like when I'm on the VersaClimber, he's like 200 yards. I'll be looking around like, I'm at 160. I could probably slow this down. There's Cole. 40 more yards, bro. Where the fuck did you come from?
It's funny. He sees that, but that motherfucker can't hear to save his life, Gary. I hear 4 people yelling his name, and I'm over by the therapy table stretching him, and he still can't hear him, and I go help the person.
Yeah, right?
God damn. Well, it's obviously, we love having you, and I'm glad you've made it a staple. Coming with us. So it just goes back to like, just knowing of you as kids and now having you in our gym. And then it was pretty cool. Bacha and Cole, they got to go to your show last night. They said you were wearing the Congo shirt. And
That one? No, I was wearing the wild one, the dead guy.
Iron Maiden,
the dead guy.
So you've always showed support. We never asked you to do it. It always means a lot
Yeah.
that you do that. So what's the story on the cold plunge? What got you on the cold plunge and how did that go about?
David
Okay.
Alexander out of Miami, I saw he kept doing it, and I go, you recommend that? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, all right, like, I'm gonna get one because it ain't cheap. Like, I don't want to invest this money. I'm not gonna use it. He goes, nah, you'll be addicted. And everything I've read, I started looking at Dana White, his transformation, and the Gary Brecka guy. Mm-hmm. So I always look at like people that are in better shape than me and clearly healthier than me, and I go, what are they doing? So I can just follow suit. So everything I read on cold plunge was like, yo, there's no drawbacks. Just don't fall asleep in it, obviously. But
Yeah.
it is very addicting. It's like drinking 10 cups of coffee. You get in that bad boy. It's addicting. I just know how people go all the way in like this, because the neck. Because once your arms are in, that's a whole different ball game. Usually I sit. It comes about right here. I just kind of lean back. I might put my arms in a little bit, but man, I don't know how people go up to here with it.
Yeah.
Like that's different.
And you know me, you're talking about waking up and I'm doing crazy shit and all this, but dude, I can't do that. I mean, I can if I put my mind to it, but that cold plunge, I don't want to do it. I don't do it. Taj does it 2 to 3 times a day.
Yeah.
That's his thing. It's not me. You
I
guys
love
do
it.
that. Fuck.
I love it. That and the sauna.
I mean, you could just put your head in ice and then a banana peel.
Yeah, that guy's great. It's all, here's the thing. To me, the Ashton Hall guy, it's all content.
Yeah.
You can't be mad at somebody for because whether you're looking at him like, what's he doing? I go, I don't know who his camera and sound people are, but they're on point. The editing is on point.
Ironically,
right?
our sponsor Regal Pools. Also, if you need a pool guy, this guy does great work.
He just popped up on my feed.
Hey, this is Josh with Regal Pools, and this is what we build.
That's
Really?
weird. I
is
swear to God, he popped up on my feed.
Yeah. Anyways, if you need pool work, he does some crazy stuff. I can connect you. I know you're building houses.
No,
or?
my house is built.
Oh, it
we
is
haven't done
built.
the backyard yet.
Okay, but aren't you doing like an investment or something, or you're building
Atlanta,
houses?
I have some flip
Oh, that's what
houses
it
in
is.
Atlanta. Yeah.
Well, you need a pool guy. Sure it is. Anyways, ironically, he's got the water.
Oh, that's funny. I'm not mad at him. I'm like, hey, whatever your hustle is, it's a legal hustle. You're actually promoting a healthy lifestyle. There could be worse ways. What do you think of the prison guy? What's his name? Wes Watson?
Oh, dude, I don't know, man, because I feel like I like what he stands for, but then some shit he's kind of crazy on the
He's a
other
loose
side.
cannon.
And then the whole fight thing broken out in the
At the
gym. And I'm
gym?
like, dude, if you can't be doing that because you're promoting fitness. and
Yeah.
then it's like, I don't know, he may be bipolar.
I want to get a guy on the phone that I can just talk to without having to be like, hey, shut the fuck up, man. Well, you ain't going to say, come down here. Then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, man.
Dude, he gets sensitive about the height thing. Notice the height thing.
I know the 5'8".
You're not 5'8". No, fucking 5'8", man. Make me 5'8". He's fighting people.
I know, right?
The only thing that bothers me about guys like that, and then that whole fitness world, and David can recognize with it. Like, now that you know me, I'm really up at 3 a.m.
Yeah. I don't like when you do, your trainer is in his third dream. I said, motherfucker, your clients are in their third dream. Fuck the trainers. Your clients are still dreaming.
I bring that up because he can attest to it now. Like, I really live this life, and it's not about followers and all that stuff, but it's like a guy like that went from who he is to who he is now, and he's got like 15 million followers. And I'm tying this all in because when you're doing your comedy clubs and you're trying to make it, and I consider you a successful comedian and a successful actor, myself, I'm not there yet. And I see stuff like that, how guys go viral that fast.
But you gotta, I don't know if you can maintain it.
Oh, yeah.
Because fame is, and especially like internet fame, especially, it's you're hot for a moment, then what are you doing? And we've seen it like the Hawk Tuah girl.
Yeah.
You see a lot of these streamers like the Island Boys. Like they get a lot and then they don't know what to do afterwards, and you go
Start
to all
kissing
these
their brother.
extremes. That part. It's better to have the slow paced, align yourself with people that are solid, like you're obviously aligned with Dre and other people. It's like you align yourself with people that know is solid, and then it just happens organically. Like I would have never, if I would have hit up David and he wouldn't have said if he would have said, nah, don't fuck with him, I wouldn't have fucked with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's all about who you're aligned with, and it's longevity, and because now the West guy might go back to jail. Yeah, you don't want to be him.
Yeah, he probably will go back to jail.
You know what I mean? And you can tell like it's weighing on him. You can tell when he's talking. It's not just like, oh, I can just relax today. It's like, oh, I did this. I gotta top that. And I gotta top that, like the Island Boy. I gotta kiss somebody. I think it's just stay consistent. You know what I mean? So
Consistency, baby.
don't start working out at 4:15 a.m. You gotta maintain that 3:45.
Saratoga. 3 Regal Pools. You've been around some greats. Obviously, we resonate with the Wayans brothers. Kevin Hart's up there with us. You mentioned Daddy Daycare, Eddie Murphy. Who is like the one person of all those people you've been around, you just had the most great experience, and they're just that guy for you? Like, man, Eddie Murphy was a solid guy, or...
I know, honestly, everybody been solid.
Really?
And maybe it's because how I am around people.
Yeah.
I don't have no horror stories. Everybody picks up the phone or returns my text if I text them. But I've never asked for anything either.
Yeah.
If usually they know if I'm calling, it's just a bullshit about something. Like me and Kev bet on the Bengals in Philly every 4 years. So
That didn't turn out good for you last year, did it?
yeah, I'm down a little bit. I gotta pay him when I see him.
Our boy Slay's over in Pittsburgh, so now you gotta deal with the Steelers.
Yeah. Well, you gotta deal with us. You gotta deal with the Bengals.
Well, you think you're gonna win the Super Bowl this year?
Every year I think we're gonna win the Super Bowl.
Legitimately, though.
Shoot, we got Joe Burrow. We got a shot. As long as you got a good quarterback, you in the ball game. You know, that's the thing. We got a quarterback that believes he should win every game.
Yeah, he is that guy.
And that resonates throughout the locker room. Nothing against Andy Dalton, but I don't think people look at Andy Dalton was like, he going to carry us. Joe, you always feel, I've been waiting on a franchise quarterback my whole life in Cincinnati. Carson Brown was cool, but I never felt like he was going to take us, like, we're down by 7 in the fourth quarter in the playoffs. Like, oh, yeah, we got this with Carson. Burrow, man. I mean, you got to realize he did it in high school, he did it in college, and he's doing it in the pros. Like, everywhere he goes, he just turns shit around.
It's like when I got Luka, I was the happiest guy in the world. I was confused at first. And
The
then
Lakers?
And then when I knew I got Luka, I said, it's on. It is on.
He's been like the first white guy since like Jerry West the Lakers had. I'm like,
That's a
like
bad
that.
dude.
Because it used
Joe
to be,
Burrow's
remember
a bad dude
Celtics
too.
and the Lakers, all the black people looked at the Lakers, white people looked at the Celtics. Now the Lakers got like freaking 3 white guys, a mixed guy, and LeBron out there sometimes. I'm like, Jesus Christ. You know, Jackson Hayes is mixed. His mom's white. I'm like this. Whew. Got some mixed boys.
What do you got next in the works for you, Gary? You got any more movies? You got
I got one I did with Terrence J and Megan Good. Who knows when that's coming? I don't know when movies come out anymore. I just kind of do them and see what happens. And then my next special comes out April 22nd on mintcomedy.com. It's a pay-per-view thing.
okay.
So it'll be on there for 3 months, and then it'll go on YouTube afterwards. So, you know, because I've never had a Netflix special. People think I have, but I haven't. So that's always been, it's odd, but they always say no. But I recently saw a couple other comics say the same thing, so I go, oh, so it's not just me. I'm being selfish right now.
How do you get a Netflix special?
I don't have one. I don't know. I don't know. You pitch it. You can either they come to you and say we want to do it, and they fund it and do it, or you do your own shit and you try to sell it to them, along with Hulu and Amazon Prime and everywhere else. Most of my specials were on Showtime, but then Showtime stopped doing stand up. They had to overhaul the network, which happens in this business. But that's the beauty of like YouTube. You can drop it on YouTube, and sometimes that's more beneficial than doing it on a network.
Yeah.
Because you know, if you own it, then you can cut up the clips, and then you have full creative control. So TikTok did wonders for Matt Rife and Nate Jackson. So there's all these different outlets now. We're in a beautiful age to be a stand-up. You don't have to like. There's no gatekeepers. You can do it yourself.
How do you close now? How do you stay relevant in that stand-up game, in the comedian game? Do you have to? Is it personality? Is it understanding culture? Is it?
I'm just gonna say. I had lunch with Bill Burr at the Burbank Airport probably 12 years ago. We were sitting there having lunch. And he just goes, "Man, Gary, I'm just gonna be so fucking funny they can't deny me." And I was like, "Oh yeah, it's pretty simple. And that's how you stay relevant. You just be so fucking funny they can't deny you."
Be so fucking funny. Be so resilient. Go after your craft. He's a comedian, but his story is working his ass off, having a vision, and here he is, and he's doing it. And it's cool for me to have you here. Appreciate you coming on, Gary. Lakers in 5. They're gonna win the championship this
That's
year.
what we're going with.
Bengals. I'm not so sure about.
Come
the
on,
Bengals.
man.
I haven't.
Sorry, big play Slay. 14-2 don't sound so bad. 15-2.
So I'm gonna take my shot closing out.
You've never had any Bengals at your gym working out?
Bengals.
I don't think we have any lot of Houston guys.
No Bengals.
Huh.
Probably have to ask Shaq, because Shaq apparently knows everybody. Shaq puts everybody
You
on.
really want Shaq on here? Why don't you go? You should go for one of his sons first. Baby steps.
I trained his son.
Get Shawnee. Get Shawnee in here. His ex-wife.
Unofficial tequila sponsors. Congo Sups. Sly. Still scared of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
He handles Sly very well.
Alligator. Just on the snap.
Another. You want?
Oh, shit,
you want,
sorry.
You want the fancy water? Crack it open for the fanciness.
You know, Regal Pool Water.
Fuck it, Regal Pool Water. You crack this one open. Maybe,
My bad.
Maybe you'll get a little banana peel to the face.
Yeah. Get a discount on my pool.
Gary, appreciate you.
Thank you.
Congo Subs. Gary Owen, Daily Dose Congo, Tequila. If you're not down with that, I got 2 words for you. Suck it! Gary?
Bitch.
LOL, white America, assassinate my character. Money matrimony, yeah, they tryna break the marriage up. Who gon' act phony, who gon' try to embarrass ya? I'ma need a day off, I think I call Ferris up.
Bueller had a Mueller, but I switched it for a Miele, cause I'm richer. And prior to this shit was moving freebase.